Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Tony coming from the DMV area again. If this is your first time on my channel, definitely look at my other content. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you find the information valuable. I created this channel for Nigerians in the diaspora trying to invest in Nigeria and also empower other Nigerians worldwide. So if you have been only following mainstream media and not looking at black social media, black spaces, you're probably not familiar with ADOS. Stands for American Descendants of Slaves. So basically what it means is, so I already know about the slave trade, all that, you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. The African slaves that were in America were enslaved for over 400 years. Then they had systematic terrorism brought on them all by the U.S. government. Their claim is our ancestors were not given their reparations for slavery. They were supposed to get 40 acres and a mule. They never got that, so they didn't get their land or their money. And that wealth that they generated from slavery, white society, white dominant society has flipped that money and have just become so wealthy off of it. Now they're in a position where just like, you know what, we're tired of the politics, we're tired of the games, we're tired of the bullshit. We don't want to be a part of your system. We want our own stuff. We want our money. We want our land. We want what's owed to us. Now you have some African descendants or immigrants that say that this is divisive as far as, you know, African Americans trying to claim, you know, reparations for themselves only. I don't understand how that is divisive. Black Americans have a specific, unique experience in America that doesn't include the Caribbeans, Jamaicans, Haitians, doesn't include Nigerians, other Africans. It just doesn't. I don't know why there's this ambiguity as far as what ADOS stands for and what it means. It's a conversation that I really think shouldn't be going on, but nonetheless, you got some minds that, or some immigrants that feel that it's divisive. My thing is, you know, let them get what's owed to them. ADOS, Black Americans, and us, we really should be looking at Europe and all these other Western countries that came and colonized us. We need our own reparations from them for what they did to our ancestors. So that's how we really should be looking at it. We shouldn't be fighting each other. It doesn't get us anywhere. Let them get what's owed to them. My brothers and sisters, my African immigrants, like, no, they are owed compensation for the terrorism and trauma generations of families went through. And one thing I recently learned is trauma can be passed down. Now that's a scary thing. So you can only imagine the negative effects that it had on their mental well-being, spiritually, you know. So there's no debate. They're owed that for their group of people. While I was hearing these arguments as far as what ADOS was claiming, just, you know, people that are in the community that are trying to be a representative for ADOS, I noticed a similarity between them and Biafra. So Biafra, I'm sure you Nigerians understand where Biafra is, but Biafra is a southeastern region of Nigeria, group of people that feel they don't want to be a part of Nigeria. Their resources, their land have been exploited by the Nigerian government over the years. They don't have equal representation in government, and they're just getting the short end of the stick, and they just want to be by themselves. When I started doing more research on it, I understand why they feel that way, and I think it's true. My own personal feelings on Nigeria is that it needs to break up. We're not Nigerians. We are our own different tribes, and to continue to force this political, it's really a colonial way of thinking on us still. It's just, you know, it's not working. We all see ourselves as different tribes. When someone asks, okay, you're Nigerian, which tribe are you from? I mean, it's because we don't really see ourselves as Nigerians. We see ourselves as Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, Biafra, if you want to go that route, Ijaw. You know, that's just a quiet. Like, we see ourselves as our tribes, which our ancestors were. So I think we should give respect to our ancestors and realize they didn't want what they see now. This is not their doing. They didn't push for this whole coming together of these different lands and call it one country. No, that was the West, the British, that came in and decided to enforce their will on sovereign, you know, people that had their own way of governing themselves. So it's, you know, it's important to realize that part. And I think Biafra does have a claim on, as far as against the Nigerian government not respecting them, because I see it and I'm just like, I don't know who's fighting them now. Of course, there's better ways to go about how you feel. You know, when you get frustrated because things are not moving in your direction, and you know, it's understandable. But yeah, it's once again, I'll just say, get what you can. If you want to break off, if they want to break off, let them break off. You know, there's no sense in forcing a group of people that don't want to be a part of your society, because at the end, it's not productive to society as a whole. I have seen comments where ADOS people would, I guess, talk negatively about just all African immigrants or Africans in the diaspora, and it's that part. I mean, it's dumb for obvious reasons, and I don't understand how that is going to further your cause, because right now you're living in a country that doesn't like you. I'm talking about ADOS. You're behind enemy lines, and it's like, okay, where are you going to get your power source from? Like, you don't control anything major in the U.S. when it comes to money, when it comes to land. Like, I think they're as far as Black Americans' net worth in this country is like about less than 1% or 0.5% or something like. I mean, just abysmal. Is crazy. You need to start. Well, I'm not going to say you need, but I will. If it was me, I would be looking at ways where I can strategically get some power, whether it be in manufacturing, whether it be in just intellectual property, whatever. Like, basically just spreading that dollar so that we can kind of build up our own economy, and we have backups if the U.S. government ain't trying to play ball. So don't just write off every African, you know, immigrant or country or whatever and just say, oh yeah, we ain't trying to bang with you. Nah, like, you know, all the resources are in Africa. Everyone else is trying to get in Africa, and you trying to distance yourself from Africa when everyone else is trying to get into the resources. So, I mean, you got to think long term, and you got to think strategically. You know, we all suffering the same, you know, I won't say the same way, but we all suffered, and, you know, we're stronger when we come together. Because at the end of the day, what is all this fighting? What good fruit is all this fighting going to produce? It ain't going to produce nothing. So those are my thoughts on the ADOS movement. Do fully support it. I think we as Africans in the diaspora should support our brothers and sisters getting theirs, getting the bag, getting the money, getting the land that they need, and, you know, of course, have a backup plan for when the U.S. government is pretty much going to say no, because I don't think they're going to do that shit. You know, it's not surprising you're asking your oppressor to cut off his leg, you know, to, you know, pay for what they did for you. Like, it just, I don't see it happening. I think you need to be strategic and look for a way where you can get what you need, and just working with your brothers and sisters. So until the next video, I'll let you later.